people in communities are facing, right? Our students K-12, our students going on to college and grad school, especially when they're out there facing a real world and they don't have an understanding of not how to spend money, but how to make money, right? Honest, decent money, that communication. So those are all barriers, the reading, prior to this year. Well, it hasn't even been re-implemented yet or reintroduced, but you can't print your name on a contract, right? You got to learn how to cursive. Thank
Right.
goodness the district is going back. I don't even know how whoever introduced removing cursive writing from the school system. I don't know who they were. Maybe they were from Pluto before it got, banished by the newcomers. But, cursive writing. And that's going to be a barrier for our students because, again, they're not reading the contracts. They don't know to read the fine prints. And if you're not putting the correct signature, then a document that you write, you might really need, even for employment, is not going to be valid, right? So these are all of the barriers that you identified that are critically important. So again, kudos to you for thinking you didn't answer the question or couldn't. You put the nail on the hammer. So yeah, go ahead. You wanted to add something?
No, thank you. I appreciate that. We need to understand and being able.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And so, when we're thinking about those barriers, that individuals and communities are dealing with, because what people don't realize is that these individuals make up the community, right? And you only need one, and you got two, and then if you got 20, then you got 20 times how many, and then that's a whole community that are with various skills and backgrounds that they are uncertain of themselves and what the real world requires of them. But because of your background as a mom, being involved, as a employee, out in the work world, serving as a civic leader, what are some innovative or practical solutions do you believe that can create long-term sustainable change in communities facing economic and social challenges, regardless of where they're from? What do you think?
I hope this doesn't sound silly or stupid, but I always find myself, picking up trash at the field and where my kids play, or if I'm at school and I pick up someone else's trash. It's about like respecting the area and the community that we're around. It's not so much of like trying to clean up after someone. It's just because I respect that area and I respect the space and I respect these kids. Like I want it to be clean for them and I want them to feel welcome there. I think that can be spread out to all communities. If we all just started, having just a little bit more respect for where we live and for each other, it will spread to having more respect for each other, not just having, respect for that space. And it's just, holding the door open for someone and letting them come through, putting our phone down and looking around and making eye contact with people again. And we're never going to break down barriers until we learn how to look each other in the eye every day again. And it's if you can look someone in the eye, it's really hard to put them down or not help them or downgrade them because you're making a human connection with them. But if you're just ignoring them and putting your nose up and not like pretending they're not there, then you can pretend they're not there. And I just would love to see more people do simple things like that, like look you in the eye when they're talking to you, or shake your hand, or pick up a random piece of trash at the field when where their kids are playing, or at the playground, or at their school, or just any, like if they see a little kid, like a little kid that's having trouble getting their coat on, like helping them get their coat on, or an older woman that needs help crossing the street, help her across the street. If someone looks uncomfortable, asking them like, "Are you okay? Can I help you?" Or you don't look so good. We forgot how to, I just keep coming back. We forgot how to treat each other. Like, just be nice. Like I tell my kids this all the time, can you just be nice to each other? And I guess it's simple, and you can't be nice to everybody. Some people don't really deserve to be nice to, but you know what I mean?
No, and I love that. And first of all, Maggie, I want you to stop saying, or what you're saying sounds silly. No, it's coming from you. So if this is what you feel, then daggone it, it's valid. I just want to say that part. Okay. But
Okay.
No, what I'm hearing you say is treat people with respect and decency because they're human. They're humans, right?
Right.
regardless of background, regardless of where they come from or what barriers or how rich they are. Like, just be a decent human being. And do I have that correct?
Yes. Whether we agree on something or not, it just, you can still be decent to each other. I can have I can have a very valid disagreement with you about something, but I can still respect you and be a human, be nice to you, and have a conversation. It's kind of, we've gotten to this point of like, if you don't think exactly the way that I think, then we can't be friends. We can't talk. Like, you're wrong. You're this. Like, I just have never really believed that or felt that way. Even if I agree with one, I don't think that you're wrong. It's just not right for me. And I think we have to do that when it comes to educating our kids too. Like, just because this works for this group of kids doesn't mean it's going to work for the other group of kids. And just because it's this great thing and it works for you, it's not going to work for everyone. And we can't apply I always say this, you can't apply a one size fits all to the whole world. It doesn't work.
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe in that. I believe in everything that you're saying because and especially for us, our very wise group, right? Because right. And I'm saying we are very wise in who we are. But especially when you're getting into, politics and, positions of influence and, people positions, then I think people lose the humanity aspect to life and communication and decency. And you'd be like, wait, we was like cool 5 days ago and you got promoted or you got a new title and now it's like we're like dirt ants in the dirt, right? And I'm like, you're like, wait, what happened? Like, we was just this. So I love when you said, listen, we can agree to disagree as adults, but just be respectful, right? Because
right,
that's who we are. We are humans at the end of the day. We didn't
right.
come in with titles. We're not going to leave it. The titles really won't matter. But learning how to cohabitate on this earth is extremely important because otherwise, why are we here, right? So,
Right.
yeah, I love that part. Did you want to add something else before we move on?
I think I got it all.
Yeah, I think you got it all too. And I love the perspective that you're bringing to this conversation because other guests like really dive into like deeper. And what I'm learning from you is that you're like, life doesn't have to be this hard, y'all. Like,
No.
we're all here for the same thing. We're all going to get along. But if we're not treating one another with respect, with decency and humanity, then what's the purpose, right?
Yeah, I can't sit here and give you this long diatribe of every point blank thing that we need to do to fix the world. Like, the way we're going to fix the world is literally just to stop talking and listening to each other instead of thinking that we have all the answers and we're right and only what we say is right. I can't be that person. I have to have an open mind. I have to listen. And we all need to do a little bit more of that. And we're not, and the person that doesn't think like you is not this awful, horrible person that deserves to be banished from the earth. Like, they're a human being. They were your friend maybe 5 days ago, like you said.
Yes, and I love the answer to your question as relates to practical or innovative solutions. And what I'm hearing you say is, let's get back to the basics. Back to take off the layers, take off the titles, take off the...
Stop reinventing the wheel. It's already been invented.
Yes. Stop reinventing the wheel, right? Like, we were humans before we were anything else. And we're going to be humans without the titles, without the money in a bank account, without the big cars and the big homes and the popularity. We're still going to be the same individual. So get back to the basics. And I think that is probably one of the realest answers I've received yet, because these questions are standard. So let's get back to the basics and let's just be respectful and friendly.
Yes. Get back to the human code.
Get back to the human code. Right. Listen, y'all heard it here first. Maggie say that's her statement. Get back to the human code. Get back to the human. I love it because I be saying the same thing. Like, listen, we should be treating one another with respect because that's who we are. We will not be judged on how many six figures were behind our bank account or how percentage we moved up in the ranking of likability, right? it's going to be the impact we have on in his kingdom, whatever his or her mean to you, right? So that
Right.
kind of thing. So
Absolutely right. Yep.
I love it. Okay,
Absolutely.
so